Well, well, well. How the turntables.
How the turntables, indeed. NASCAR has had 4 Australian Supercar drivers in the last 365 days. Shane Van Gisbergen, who has fully transitioned to NASCAR full-time. Brody Kostecki, who made a one-off last August at Indianapolis. And Cam Waters, who has made multiple Truck Series starts and made his Cup Series debut this past Sunday at Sonoma. And then Will Brown, who made his NASCAR debut this Sunday in the Cup Series at Sonoma. Well, guess what? It's about to flip the other way around, maybe. It's only a report, a rumor, whatever you want to call it. But could we see a NASCAR driver in Supercars? We could. It's possible. There's rules in Supercars. I don't know a lot about Supercars, but it's a NASCAR topic because it's Kyle Busch, so we're going to talk about it. Rumors persist of NASCAR driver cameo in Supercars. A Supercars wildcard appearance for a current NASCAR star is still in the works according to renewed speculation. Talk of Supercars looking to lure a NASCAR ace for a one-off start surfaced late last year with Kyle Busch, the driver, Erebus Motorsport, the team, and the Vilo, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Adelaide 500, the event at the center of the rumors. Given the turmoil experienced by the title-winning Erebus squad earlier this season, there was an assumption that the plan was shelved. However, a new wave of speculation suggests a version of the plan is still in the works. According to the latest speculation, Busch is the targeted driver while the season-ending Adelaide 500 remains the likeliest event should the plan come together. However, there is a significant question mark over who would facilitate the wild card. The latest talk has linked Triple Eight to the additional entry, something that makes sense given the squad already has a wild card program in place for this season. The Powerhouse GM squad will run a super cheap auto-backed Camaro for Cooper Murray at this weekend's Darwin Triple Crown before Murray and Craig Lowndes team up in the car for the Sandown 500 and Bathurst 1000 later in the year. There have been restrictions on teams running more than one single driver event wildcard per season in the past, which means the plan may require clearance from Supercars. Speed Cafe understands that Supercars is yet to have received or began any formal wildcard applications for Adelaide. The link to Busch comes through his Richard Childress Racing team, which ran Brody Kostecki for his NASCAR cameo last year and Will Brown at Sonoma last weekend. The latter created a link between RCR and Triple Eight 2, with not only Brown spending the weekend working with RCR and Sonoma, but his T8 or Triple Eight engineer Andrew Edwards as well. The growing ties between Supercars and NASCAR are a significant talking point off the back of the Sonoma weekend that also included Shane Van Gisbergen winning the Xfinity race and Cam Waters making his Cup Series debut along Brown for the RFK Ford squad. So yes, it has flipped. The script has flipped. The flip has script. Yes, Kyle Busch, who has won 63 Cup Series races, is a 2-time Cup Series champion, has over 100 Truck Series or Xfinity Series wins, 66 Truck Series wins. Yeah, he wins a lot in NASCAR, guys. There's a rumor here, report, a rumbling, that's the word I've been using all month long. Should have been the word I started with. That Kyle Busch could make a one-off appearance in Supercars. Now, I'm not sure how the rule system works in Supercars, and also it's midnight over here in the US of A, so I'm sure someone smarter than me that knows more about Supercars can explain it in the comments. But from what it sounds like is that, you've got your normal teams. I think each team has 2 cars, maybe. Sounds right to me. But then again, I know nothing, so I could be very wrong. And in order to have a third team or to have an extra team on your sideline, you have to get approval from Supercars, or you're restricted on how many times you can have this extra car. Whereas in NASCAR, you can have a third, fourth, fifth. Well, actually, you can't have a fifth. But you can have a third or fourth extra car whenever you want. It's just that you're not always guaranteed a spot in the field. You have to qualify your way in. So it sounds like that they have to get some approval. They got to get some documents, some releases, a bunch of legal stuff, a bunch of Supercars legal stuff to get this additional entry. And if that happens, it looks like Kyle Busch, 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, could be in that car. And of course, it talked about there the link between Kyle Busch and Triple Eight, the ties between Kyle Busch and Erebus, where this rumor originally started. I know Erebus and Brody Kostecki, they had some big thing happen in the off season and then at the beginning of the season, because I know Kostecki missed a couple of rounds early in the season, but obviously that was a connection there with Kyle Busch, RCR running a race for Kostecki, but now that has shifted to Triple Eight with Will Brown and also Shane Van Gisbergen. I know he used to race there. But now that connection is there because of Will Brown, because of his engineer who came over here to help. So they have that connection with Richard Childress Racing. I'm sure they talked this weekend. Even if they didn't talk about Kyle Busch running supercars, I'm sure they just all chatted, tried to catch up, tried to learn about what they do. But with the next gen era of NASCAR car being very similar to the Supercars car, I'm very curious to see how Kyle Busch would do. Kyle Busch has won on road courses in his career. It's been a while though, and the Cup Series side of things, he's only in his second season with Richard Childress Racing. But I'm curious to see how that would work out. I think it would be fun. It works out calendarly, if that's a word, because the NASCAR season ends on November 10th at Phoenix Raceway, and this race weekend in Adelaide would be November 14th through 17th. So Kyle Busch would, if I had to guess, finish up at Phoenix and then leave that night or leave early the next morning and fly over to Australia, get ready for the time change, get rid of the jet lag as quickly as possible, and Kyle Busch would go on over. But I'm curious to see how it would work. I'm curious to see how competitive he would be as well. But Kyle Busch, two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. And the craziest thing, that is not the wildest thing I saw about him today online. There were some reporters talking about him like having an option in his contract, but Richard Childress Racing picked up the option. But if they didn't, Kyle Busch might have been talking to JGR about going. It might be a video tomorrow, guys. It's late. It's midnight. There's so many rumors and reports in the NASCAR world that it's my brain. This might not even be real. This might be a dream that I'm making up. Kyle Busch is not even in discussions with the Supercars team. I'm making this all up in my head. I don't know. I got to get some sleep here, but thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Pretty wild, out of nowhere report rumor thingy here, but could we see Kyle Busch in the Australian Supercar Series? And if so, how do you think he'd do? But if so, I'd be very excited. I would watch for sure. Keep up with it, but thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed once again, and I will see you guys in the next video.